of the Secretary General of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change. We're going to be interacting with him. Yesterday, the police made a pronouncement inviting several officials from the former government into the reopening of the 4 auditors case, including the missing boy. So we are here today. SG, welcome to the media.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Just like let me make this categorically clear that your visitation here was unannounced, and you just brought your police here, and you say you want to ascertain about event that transpired yesterday. But anyway, this place is a very open place. We are respectful of democracy, and a respectful of most especially our partner, people who are media practitioners. So the Congress of Democratic Change, we believe in the precept of democratic prudence. And so,
how do you welcome the news inviting the former finance minister, who is a member of the Congress of Democratic Change, including Senator Bill Tweah, who also is a member of the opposition committee?
Well, basically, we don't want to get involved into the political storm about it. The legislative aspect will be dealt with legislatively, and the political aspect will be dealt with politically. For us, in the quest to seek or to ascertain justice, we are in full support of that. As a former ruling party and a major opposition leader, we as an institution want to state categorically clear that we welcome any transparent, credible, non-partisan investigation. Against that backdrop, you have our support as an institution. But we want to encourage that the investigators who are currently investigated, this should not be a publicity storm. We are encouraging them that the murderers of the late Joshua Tamamumu, and there are scores of them, and even scores of them have been employed. I think they say one of them is currently in the perimeter of Freeport, and the murderers of a private citizen in Lofa County, Tamamumu, and one of them in Nima County. We understand that Mr. Bwaka has appointed them, evident by the fact the ringleader, who happens to be the current Internal Affairs Minister, Queen Johnson, who is parading with the with the protection of Mr. Bwaka presidency. While we welcome the decision, we're also very concerned, and we're also calling on with immediate effect that those cases are also cases that we are very interested in. While we encourage our Liberian citizens, which of whom we believe they are innocent until proven guilty, they must cooperate with the laws. Anything far short of that to engage into politicizing, engage into a witchy-watchy investigation is going to cause serious concern on us. we are giving Mr. Parker an opportunity first, along with the investigator and Graduate Kuma, for them to do what we term the most appropriate. Fit on the path to do such. We too, as we have documented, as we have informed our partner in and out of Liberia, we want to use this time to say we are very concerned and we want them to take these cases as serious matter as possible as well.
Now, when you say to do the honorable thing, you expect them to do the honorable thing. What exactly are you talking about?
Well, the perpetrators are not in Haiti. When is in the employ of the Freeport. We have the Internal Affairs Minister who was seen on tape threatening the life of citizens. He's been rewarded. The late Tamba Mumu, who was goujonly murdered, his murderers were being rewarded. They were being appointed. We have written the Justice Minister, and we heard he said there's lack of sufficient evidence. The fact that the president were able to appoint them, and before even investigating, in itself indicate compromises. And we want to see the government has a chance to correct a wrong. So we want to say as an institution, we welcome that decision. And another thing we're very concerned about, very concerned, we want to quickly extend our deepest condolences to the unfortunate demise of the Liberian who lost their life from a excessive speed motorcade that saw a tragic accident that took a life of Liberian, and we've been told that schools of them currently in very critical condition, and we're hoping by the grace of God they can be able to recuperate, speedy recovery. What we want to say, Mr. Bwaka is believed to be a Baptist deacon. When people lost their life, we thought it was fair enough to show some level of empathy, sympathy, rather than to continue the journey and not considering the loss of life and those who were critically on the scene. We think the security apparatus, they are trying to normalize the taking away of life, most especially their citizen. We want to call this for an immediate investigation of the EPS director. We want to call for his investigation. The EPA director with in charge of the safety of Mr. Boakai, that should ensure that the records and mechanisms are put into place. It can be protecting the president at the expense of the life of citizens. We think Semke needs to be investigated, and why investigation is going on with Mr. Boakai deal with the case with the Drugs Enforcement Agency. We think the same case should stand down and be investigated why the life that was lost today in a very harsh festive season where people are still struggling to find a daily meal. We think it's wrong about that.
I want to take you back a little bit. Will you agree your party, the former government officials, to one on a police invitation in the absence of them not bringing in all the cases that have been in the past that
No.
you mentioned of?
No, for us, we are not abandoned people. We got nothing to cover. We have absolutely nothing to add. We have encouraged them. We have encouraged former government officials. We have encouraged our policies to act in accordance, honoring the police invitation. It doesn't in any way signify that you have. But if there is a semblance of fair play and you try to do something, you can rest assured as an institution, we will not permit that.
But why if the government is not interested in other cases? What will the party do?
It's not about the government interest, it's what is appropriate to be done. It is a matter of concern. When you take on responsibility as a public leader, decisions are not conditioned on the basis of your interest. It is done on the basis of the appropriateness of what is required as a public official. Those who lost their lives are like people. There's no way you want to take away of a person, take away of life, a person's life. I don't think there must be investigation. We also want to quickly remind them. Our concern is, you can remember when we were being defamed here, we were being lied on, that we brought weapons in this country, in this country, because we are a child of the living God. And those who fear us, who doesn't in any form or manner has what it takes to confront us, they retreat in cowardice and they begin to spill mist and disinformation on our character. But as long as we stay here, the truth that crushed to the ground will continue to reveal itself. Today, the police have clearly stated yesterday that those arms that were brought in the country, they have absolutely no connections. But you have a shameless and irresponsible creature, the Fagano, who is a traditional cultural liar. Lying has become a norm. He's a lying DNA character. But today he said in the same press conference when he said that we brought arms in this country. Today, he must be honorable enough to speak truth to the Nigerian people. He's a shameless character and a spineless creature who survived on the basis of false food and mist and disinformation. A man who is not even bothered. He is shamelessly unbothered about his reputation. These are people who misled the Nigerian people. So today, he must do the honorable thing and come to the public that he lies on our person. A lot of them will lie, and will continue to be exposed. The second aspect, Jerome Vernier, when they talk about the 3 missing boys, on the day they mentioned on the infamous Global Moscow case, and somebody called me and said, oh, they are about to free the former Chief Justice, and I said, why is that concerning me? I have no interest. And they say they have appointed her nephew as the county attorney, Richard Scott. So he's now the Monrovia County attorney. Why is that concerning me? I have absolutely no connection. I've never met her in person before. I have no association with her. But if the young lady were murdered by people, God in heaven will never, she may not be around, but God in heaven will never allow the murderer of little Musu to find peace. There is no authority on the face of this earth that can shield themselves from the gruesome murder of the little child. Young woman who were murdered in from a manner, whosoever, not only them, their generation shall never find peace. You may attempt to use man's authority, but God's authority is indeed the ultimate authority. And that's why our heart remain very pure as snow, and our innocence remain consistent like the northern star. And we want to say with no stupor that they can take any decision they want to make about that. But thank God that we've been vindicated. People wanted power here, and they thought they could just lie. They could do anything to lie and bring them here. We want to say thank God that today the lies that crushed to the ground is beginning to rise. The truth that crushed to the ground is beginning to rise in location. We also want to mention about those lies that were being used as weapon and weaponize our people into falsehood. We want to say that Liberian people will struggle, will begin to learn. So we want to say as an institution, we encourage those government officials that have been impacted. We ask them to cooperate, and we believe strongly that under our leadership, we have nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing to hide. We may not be 100% perfect, but we try our possible best to do what we call service delivery. We have some challenges and some stumbling blocks. About 85% of what were being casted upon us were lies, bold-faced and colorless lies. And that's why we allow these lies, they will dissipate in thin air, and we respond to them sharply.
Yeah, so, my name is Blamoto from the Liberian Investigator and Radio Bushra. My first question is, have you sensed any sinister motive beyond the police declaring Tweah and Jara as persons of interest?
Well,
and secondly, why are you calling for the investigation of Senge for the tragic incident or accident involving the president's motorcade? Why are you calling for investigation?
Well, the motorcade of the Excellency is under the jurisdiction of the APS director. Now, if you have a motorcade that is engaged into taking the life of a citizen, the president should be providing festive greetings, should be ensuring finding food for people to celebrate. It's not to be subjecting people into mourning condition. It's not to, do you care to know the impact they were making as breadwinner? Some people know if a man is in a truck, I always think he's a truck cycler. He's a truck cyclist. So he's a breadwinner. He woke up this fateful day on a hustle to sustain his family. But because of saying gay, ineffective and incompetence, they saw the man lost his life today. If the EPS director was effective and competent enough, I thought they said the people in there, those who did all the competent people are left in the EPS. How can the EPS, the convoy, will not be professionally guarded in protecting the president and also protecting the citizenry? But instead, see what's happening. Instead of the Tunisians and like you say, the convoy can stop. Let's stop saying gay for stopping there. I understand you have to take ordinary people who are very concerned, who are happy to take the people out of the hospital. This gross insensitivity should not be permitted in the space of our democracy. We must care. People, those are not chicken. Those are living beings. Who they are breadwinners. Who love media contaminated. So we think it's important, fair enough, for a president, a leader who is interested, who is a respecter of the Nigerian people, so that he can be able to investigate and subsequently ascertain, so that you can set a precedent. You cannot have a repetition of the incident that transpired a couple of hours ago.
My first question, you did not respond to that. Have you sensed any sinister motive?
Well, they are innocent people, so we know. Well, the police can choose to politicize. They can choose to politicize and what they can. But I know Samuel D Tweah. He's a compassionate man. I know Bill Tweah. They are innocent people. I know Dr. Jala. Those are people with high moral standard. There's no amount of attempt to manufacture anything will make them be bothered about that. We have spoken to them as an institution. The Excellency Dr. George Mano, he's a man of peace, and we are very clear that we go. It's easy to lie to come to power, but no one lies in governance, because the people will begin to unearth the facts and the lies will be exposed.
My name is Nadia, and I work for Fucking Television. 2 days ago, you were with the representative of the district in Mastin. You get called back, in which you had a meeting in his press conference talking on, and the police have said that they didn't go at his house to go and raid during the season period, to go at their ghettos and raid period. But the Koijee have said that they're going to raid his area, in which in the press conference said you're going to protect unrelated Koijee. Looking at the statement from the police, what victims that to be turned out that the raids ghettos during season period, and referring to Koijee's era as a ghetto.
That's the sheer hypocrisy that they are often being used, and literally will say to you, and after the Trump trial is used to build a mansion, it's been denied the privilege to plow the face of the mansion. When do they realize that where the likes of Yeka Koijee resident can be termed as ghetto? It wasn't a ghetto when the entire rescue team sought refuge. Well, what we can say to them, that is their nature. We don't expect anything different from them. But what we want to be very categorically clear about is this. People who have created their creatures should be men enough to face in what's been created by them. Let the Creator facing the creature. And they should not more any other person. We think the manner in which they went to the resident of the representative was irresponsible, was nicodemously dumb, no civilized police force should even get to them. As we speak to you now, we too have been in touch with him consistently. We have ensured that a citizen action is being put into place. This morning, he myself spoke. And moving forward, the way the police are conducting themselves, we are actively trying to ensure, because we don't know who the next person. We are actively saying when they invade your area and they term it to be ghetto. Who knows? They could go to another place. Even you were asking the question. And they will call a ghetto. And they think it's a justification. What kind of ghetto you go to and you spill tear gas? No other ghetto. Why all the ghetto then will not see tear gas? There's no other ghetto that will see tear gas. No other ghetto. Only to the main resident. So what we're trying to do now is we effectively encouraging our people and working some modalities so people can be able to protect themselves. Because it's getting, when police go to King George and life is taken, they say they use minimum force. The citizen, armless people, you said, put the security at risk. When you go, if 15-year-old child were murdered, the next thing you go, police issue release and say they dismiss this person, and the next thing you see, the inspector general is shaking hands. The next thing you hear, 5,000 is being delivered. It's been delivered. Are we being given money in exchange for the loss of life? Are we think by apologies and dismissal is a justification for the loss of life? For us, we're not going to politicize. No, we're not. We're not going to. We're going to follow the cogent issues. So we call it attention. So that when the CDC desire to take an action in this country, there can be no room for you to say the CDC did not do its work. So everything the CDC is doing is to ensure call the necessary attention to the ills and the flaws of this regime.
As you called you today, you have been punished by the international community. Your character have been aligned about other things. The truth are coming out on today, most especially when you hear the very police vindicating you. Do you think it's now time for those who are punishing you, like essentially your ongoing, the lies that brought the unity party to power, for them to rethink and vindicate you as well?
Well, I can say this to you with great deal with certainty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm vindicated. I know myself. I didn't do those things. I'm a Christian, man. I'm a fully devoted Christian, and I believe in God. I know our history, and I know the greatest men in history were persecuted, and even the religions we follow from. And when the disciple of Christ, there were moments in our history when these men were persecuted, and in the final analysis, what they were falsely prosecuted for became accepted in today's world. You can take this. All of our detractors who thought their intention was to break people out of you cannot. You don't know us. We're not surprised about the police. Every single thing will be proven that we are victims of lies, malicious lies. Nothing more. I was talking to Chokon the last night. I said, look, Chokon, you see, I'm an orphan. There's a reason why God got my earth, and my mother gave birth to me. 7 days she expires. My father died, and that's why I'm very passionate about what I do, what I engage in. Those who doesn't stir me, they find refuge in mischaracterization and monology. I have never taken a life of a chicken in this world. As simple as it is. Never. But because people fear to say that. But what we're going to do is that what they do not understand, we have inspired ourselves to stand up for what we believe in. And we cannot bow down because of naked threat.
I listened to you calling on Falcon to apologize. I know Falcon is not one person that will easily bow down. Will you take further actions? The burden of both lives.
Not to apologize to me, to the Liberian people. All of those people, the likes of Falcon, Gerald Verdier. I'm not a public official now. I'm a private citizen. So we're compiling every other thing. So he's good. I'm telling you that he's government official. I'm talking about his employer. He's government official. We here in this country.
So you, wherever the vote fact goes, that changed, you to the last time you're talking on the president employed easy people at the bars. Are you trying to become an army man now because you're easy man?
So we went over there and
Because you have people that are employed.
no, that's it. I'll be very specific and mention. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm not going to disown being a fan because Mr. Barker has been tolerated by the Liberian people. Today I had a mass meeting with people in the fields, students, and we were given expressions as a gift. You know, as we state here, we've been appreciated by our people who understand our heart and soul and our passion for what we believe in. So you guys came here, I was expecting people like you. I was in my Nova County meeting. So there are a group of people who came to me and we discussed the Nova matter. I don't know who here from Nova, who am I here? Children from Nova? You are here, Bassam.
Finally from my end.
Yeah,
Last where you from? Are you from Nova or are you from Bassam?
From Basel.
Oh, wonderful, okay.
Finally
Good
from my
people,
end. The information minister said the CDC did threaten to burn down, set ablaze the airport. That was the reason for the deployment of the armed forces, officers of the armed forces of Nigeria. Do you care to comment on that?
Is it when I speak about the character in which you mentioned, you think it was in the if I, sometimes it's like we try to be the way people perceive. When I reference him as being a shameless, unintended child or engaged into thereby ejaculation, I was very deliberate about that. This is a man where the chief of staff say he has no knowledge. So is he why you say the man was ejaculating? The man who preside over the army say no, he know. The man who they play, he preside over, say they play, no, that don't buy. He can't even find a way to solve it. He trying to say things, that's the only thing that, you just, that state, you know what I mean? That certain state you in, that state where you loses everything. And I said, you don't have to talk because you're in a position. And that's why I see, anytime when I come to talk, I mention, see his younger brothers, people he's senior far better. When he was serving in government, these people were still in school. But those are people who, Amos was a deputy minister. He has studied ways to elevate himself. He is currently now to the LPRC. And more some projects, you were handling the project as finance ministry. As we speak to you, he's the head of an agency. Baka was something, Baka Jaliba was some assistant minister. You see he's a deputy, vice president or something. Those are progressive young people that we know very well. The only man who is stagnated who is believed to be interpreting the wrongs of his fellow cabinets member. Mentally, them we so-called train. Now there must be actionable actions. He should be concerned about the trend, so you need to investigate it. It's tantamount to harming the safety and life of a former president. Former presidents should be given all due courtesy and necessary. You see what happened in America? The Secret Service director were quizzed and she did the honorable thing, she resigned. But people that PNM engage in the verbal ejaculation should be talking about, leaving the office for misleading the Liberian people. But he's a person who we pay no attention to, and the channel will deal with him. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Finally, the CDC COP just announced that they are encouraging folks, international community, government Liberians, even citizens, to abandon the July 26th celebration. Is the CDC trying to boycott the July 26th celebration?
If we were doing that, we stayed around. I please to ask a question to you. We stayed around. So
Thank you so much.
What we engaged into and what we deem appropriate was been altered by us. We welcome the invitation of the police, and we urge the police to be transparent, accountable, and credible. And we also call on the police to go further on other death cases in this country. We think the police should do that with immediate effect, and the police should not delve into politicizing things. We also believe that St. Gay should be subjected to immediate investigation for the loss of life of the innocent Liberians and those who are very critical. We think such action is a clear testimony of his incompetence. EPS director should be well schooled to understand the risk analysis that is associated with the president convoy, motorcade, and move. Your failure to be able to do that appropriately is speak to your gross incompetence. So those are things that we're very concerned about. And we talk about the likes of our council who said here that the 3 boys that were missing and now withdraw weapons, they've been vindicated by a risky mission, police services. So we think those are cardinal issues that we talk, and we can't wish the peace. There's absolutely nothing to be happy of. There is a lot to move for. I think it is a move for 26 because there are more people who have, people lost in life, but those that, you see, yes, if the protector have become the executor, it's unfortunate. The rescue, a risky nation, from being rescued, you have turned to risky. From being protector, you have turned to executor. And so you do not take these things, people who are supposed to be providing the opportunity for their children to be happy, and the children should be happy and be celebrating. Today we say to you, if you check either a policeman is saying he made an unintended shooting that took away a life. To you ask yourself what happened to the family in King George? What happened to the family in rehab? Today a motorcade, if the police is not trying to take away your life, if the police haven't taken away your life, the next thing that will take your life is the incompetence of St. Gabe. the motorcade will certainly take a life of a class cyclist. It is today's Liberia we live under Mr. Boakai. So we want to encourage Liberia a moonful 26th, where you two things. If somebody not die for you, you have to moon hunger, you have to moon sickness, you have to moon abject poverty.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're mourning anything now. We're celebrating 177.
Well, the few handful of people cannot be defined. If you ask Choto now, I think he's also will tell you, he may not be mourning, but he know people who are mourning as well. I want to say peace unto the ashes of a friend and brother, chosen Kazoo. I can remember the last time we met here was on Tuesday. It was on the 4th of July. And we want to say thank you to His Excellency Dr. George Manawia, who had extended a formal condolences to him. He was a progressive young journalist. I understand after President Mr. Barker have said nothing about him, and he's not interested in people who are very progressive, and nobody in his government is interested in that. I think Mr. Barker has normalized become a non-respecter of the Liberian people, particularly you, them of the fourth estate. I want you take that into consideration. You're not talking about children. The devil is not putting the weak upon people. You need to be very concerned. When your friend in trouble is not being paid attention to, they can tell you that maybe you're not around, they may not pay attention to you. You don't wish for that. But you need to be reminded of who your leaders are today. Leaders should be caring for people. Children was a very good, smart young man. He was a very good. Apparently, Baka may not like it reporting, and so he had asked the minister not to pay attention to him. But he wants a salary to the family. The CDC is arranged a delegation. The delegation will go. The SOSA, the young people, will instruct them so that the delegation and SOSA, so we go to children's house, and also to the young man who lost his life through the incompetence of Senge in the services by the motorcade. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.